There are three parts relating to the governance in the limited partnership agreement that are absolutely essential, and I'm going to explain these. They're the investment domain, best ideas, and work hard for the money. Let's kick off with the investment domain. The investment domain in the LPA really covers what the fund and the GPs are allowed to invest in. For example, the fund may only be able to invest in biotechnology ventures, or it may be a general technology fund, or a fund focused on education technology. The fund may also place restrictions on the stage of companies that may be included in its portfolio, such as including seed investments and early stage venture companies, but not allowing later stage companies. Although by definition, venture capital invests in private companies, some LPAs will permit investment in listed companies. The investment domain in the LPA will also set out the geographic restrictions, such as investing in East Africa or Africa as a whole. In general, the GP wants the definitions to be as broad as possible, and most LPs are supporters of this. These restrictions are really just put in place to prevent style drift in the fund's investments. It also helps keep the GP focused on those domains in which they are experts in. So if you're raising capital as an entrepreneur, you need to know what the investment domain of prospective funders are. It would be futile to pitch an online education company to a fund that has an exclusive focus on biotechnology initiatives. The next thing relates to best ideas. Now, the best ideas provisions in the LPA are there to ensure that the best ideas and the best opportunities the VC comes across go to the fund, and the GP doesn't circumvent the fund by investing directly themselves into those best ideas. In some situations, VCs may, in addition to the fund's investment, invest in an underlying company separately from the fund. Or they may decline an investment for the fund, but make an investment directly into the same underlying company on their own account. Most of the time, this is quite normal. There are valid reasons for it. But it also creates the potential for conflicts of interest, where the GP can potentially cherry pick the best ideas for themselves, with the fund getting the second-rate opportunities. So many LPAs will limit or restrict the extent to which GPs can invest their own money in potential investments that fall within the LPA's investment domain. At a minimum, the LPA will generally require disclosure to the LPs of the side investment at the time that it's made. The last thing relates to work hard for the money. Because the LP is handing over capital to the GP, they obviously expect the GP to work hard to ensure the funds are invested and managed successfully so that the fund can generate good returns. So within the LPA, a number of mechanisms are built in to hold the GP to account. First, the LPA usually states that the GP has to devote substantially all of their efforts into running the firm. Their energy must be devoted full-time to investing on behalf of the LPs. So what happens if the GP is no longer fulfilling this obligation? Well, then separation and divorce become real options. Suspension can come into play if some combination of the GPs are no longer devoting substantially all their time to the affairs of the fund. We call these GPs the key men. That's not politically correct, but that's what it means. LPs can invoke a suspension if they reach a certain voting threshold of, say, 51% or 66%. During the suspension, the key men need to present a plan to the LPs of how they're going to fix the situation, and if they can't, then divorce proceedings begin. In order to terminate the LP-GP arrangement, the voting threshold from LPs is usually quite high and in excess of 80%. But if this threshold is achieved, the LPs can effectively terminate the arrangement without having to come up with specific reasons, just as in the case with a no-fault divorce.